Hey, Monarch Nation, let's talk some ODU men's tennis with the head coach of the Old Dominion University men's tennis team, Dominik Mueller. Coach, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Ted.
Since we last spoke, a couple of wins, a loss. The season is a-rolling. Tell us about where you think your team is before you head on a big road trip.
Well, first of all, we're just very fortunate that we haven't had one cancellation all spring. So from that standpoint, we're absolutely rolling. You know, I mean, you play every match. That's all you can ask for this year. Yeah, I think this year you evaluate everything on differently. And I think this year we're just taking every match that we can get to prepare us for a conference tournament. And we've definitely made strides. I mean, we're definitely better than we were in January. You know, minor setback on Friday against a really good VCU team. But I don't think that's gonna change our trajectory that we started at the beginning of February.
In many cases, when two really good players are playing, the match is decided by just a couple of points or a couple of decisions here and there. Talk about the razor-thin margin for error there is in highly competitive tennis.
Oh, yeah, and especially now that we are playing a no-ad format. In the pros, you have to win every game by two. For a couple of years now, we're playing no-ad format. So there's really a lot of deciding points on every court. Sometimes you hear deuce point no ad there, deuce point no ad over there. And we've seen it. We already played three or four matches this year that ended up 7-6 in the third. Yeah, Luca just last weekend's VCU saved 3 match points, won 7-6 in the third. It's nerve-wracking. Yeah, as a coach, you're standing on the sideline, and every time you see a deuce point, my heart rate goes up. It's definitely way more difficult than when you're a player yourself, but that's also what makes a college dual match so much fun.
What do you think of the rule? I mean, obviously it shortens things up. You can't have matches go hours and hours and hours for a number of different reasons, but what do you think of the no-ad rule?
I honestly like it. I honestly like it from a developmental standpoint. Sure, it shortens the match, but you know, we're preparing our kids in so many different ways, right? We are saying we're developing our kids for the professional world where they're gonna find pressure, they're gonna feel pressure. Some of our kids want to turn pro. I mean, if you cannot handle a no-ad point in tennis, I don't think you can handle 20,000 people at Flushing Meadows in the night session, right? I think this is just a minor thing, but I think, yeah, I truly believe if you master these no-ad point situations, and when you take the next step to the pros, now you're going back to deuce ad, you're actually feeling less pressure.
When you think about which side of the court you wanted to defend, is it based on your abilities or the server's abilities or a little bit of both?
No, I think we want to take a lot of pride in protecting our serves. I think this is sort of the foundation. I think for most of tennis players, right? You protect your service games. I mean, in most simple terms, you protect your service games, you hold for an entire set, you're in a tiebreaker. Guaranteed. Yeah. Then there's some difference in game style. Like I was more, serve was not my strength as a player, so I needed to break a lot. And so there's some strength that go in, but it doesn't change the fact that you are, and as a pro, we're taking pride in holding our serves and practicing certain service patterns in practice as well.
You mentioned Luca Maldonor before. He's been named the Conference USA Tennis Athlete of the Week, went 4-0. Talk about what he's brought the Monarch tennis team.
Oh, Luca has done tremendous progress since he came here. And when he was a freshman a couple of years ago, he had a rough start. He, because of eligibility, wasn't able to play for half a year before he came to college. So he was lacking match play. And then he really made a jump his second year. Yeah, I mean, we all saw his potential from the beginning. And, yeah, he had to get used to the program. He had to get used to college tennis, a lot of different things. He, also had to get used to really focusing 100% all the time in a 2-hour practice. So a lot of hurdles he overcame. And then it sort of just clicked. And, yeah, now he's a guy high in the lineup that we can count on. And really proud of him, how he really worked for that. It just didn't come from one day to the other. He really – there's still room of improvement, and then that's the other great thing. Yeah, he's already playing at a high level. He's already winning point for us high in the lineup, and we still think there's still a lot of room for more.
Busy weekend coming up for the Monarch men's tennis team at Kennesaw State, then the next day at Georgia State, then you go over the border to Birmingham to take on UAB in Conference USA play. That's a pretty busy stretch for you. Talk about the strategy, both mentally and physically, going into this series.
Yeah, even though it sounds 3 matches in a row, it sounds like a lot. I think our guys are just excited to actually get on a plane and feel a little more of a normal spring trip, right? I mean, it's going to be obviously busy, and when we come back after 3 days, we're all going to be tired when we arrive back at Norfolk Airport. But I think just the excitement of traveling as a team, getting a rental car, staying in the hotel, and as weird as that sounds, these are little things that bond these guys. And then you throw in a conference match in there, they're always special. I mean, conference matches, doesn't matter who you play, conference matches are big and they mean a lot. So I don't think we have to motivate anybody for that match. Georgia State beat us last year, so I think we all want to do a little revenge there. And, Kennesaw, we don't really know a whole lot about. We've never really played them. So it was another, since we're going down there and talk to the coach there and added that as well. So really excited to play 3 matches and to transition to outdoors. These are our first outdoor matches. So that's also really excited to prepare us for the postseason.
What is a piece of advice you can give the weekend players about recovery? How is the best way to, after a tough match, when you've got another one coming up the next day, to be as physically fit as possible?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm not doing it all the time either. So, but obviously for the guys, stretching, that's number one. Really get a good stretch in. Foam roll has gotten really big. Nutrition, really make sure that you actually get something in your body in the first half an hour after a hard workout or a tough tennis session, even if it's just a power bar. But the first half an hour is really crucial. Ideally get a lot of carbs in if you have another match the next day, like a good bowl of pasta, something like that, and good sleep. And obviously hydrating. Don't go too hard on the Gatorade. There's still some sugar in there. So we usually say maybe a 2-to-1 ratio. So for, let's say you have 1 Gatorade, make sure you drink twice as much water. So, essentially nutrition, hydration, sleep, taking care of your body. Right? Your body's your biggest asset at the end of the day.
What percentage of the whole tennis deal in terms of success is based on nutrition and the whole taking care of yourself aspect of it?
I think it's hard to put a percentage on it, but if it's just 1%, then that can make the difference. Obviously, I mean, you want to maximize more than that, and I'm okay if my guys have a cheat day once in a while. I mean, I'm okay with them eating a burger or a pizza here and there. At the end, they're college students, but overall, I obviously want to make sure that they eat good food at night at home and have good breakfast and all that. So we keep an eye on that, but at the end of the day, got to make sure that they believe in it. It has to come from them as well.
Dominik Mueller, a busy trip coming up at Kennesaw State, at Georgia State, then Conference USA action at UAB. Best of luck this weekend. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dominik Mueller talking ODU men's tennis here on Monarch Media.